We'll just start it out real nice and simple. This is gonna be what, episode 2?
Episode 2.
I'm Tuck Fard, and this is my co-host Mike. I think what we're gonna do today is a little bit of a, now this is Delta 8. So it's entirely legal, breaking no laws. But we're gonna be sampling some clippings here. And we're gonna start out by kind of reviewing what we've got. This is
I'll put more in it.
Delta 8. You mind if I give it a sniffy sniff now?
Help yourself.
Now, hypothetically, if this were to be the real thing, this is the review I'd give it. You know, I guess. And there's definitely, I'm getting a good funk. There's a good funk from it. I want to say there's some berry sort of backgrounds, but are you picking up some earthy notes? Do you pick up almost a background like that? Somewhere toward the back, there's
a little nature note.
Yeah, a little nature note. That's
not leafy, but just naturey.
Oh, earthen, you know, and that's a lot of times that comes from a kush. I'd imagine these are pretty dense little nugs. I'd say there's probably a kush in there somewhere. But we don't know exactly what it is supposed to be. But we're doing a taste test here, and then we're gonna see how it feels, and then we're gonna discuss just life here in the bluegrass. You ready? Ready to pop off? You're gonna carburetor on this Delta 8. Oh, I love this bubbler, bro.
It's pretty awesome. It'll put it to you.
Them's good clippings. That was my fault. Really, this is a very smooth hitting apparatus. It really is very smooth. I'm more of a joint kind of guy most of the time. I like the fresh taste. You're really great about keeping your apparatuses clean.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Every video of any kind of like a herbal use has like all the movies and stuff. They got black bong water. It's always that black stuff, and that's terrible. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all.
No, and I'm too lazy to clean an apparatus all the time.
See, for me, this got a little bit still. This was cleaned not even a week ago. But I've got a couple of them. And what I do is I rotate them. So that way I can clean them, let them air dry, and I don't have any of the cleaning chemicals, still left in them, which are all natural. It's that 420 cleaner stuff. They're pretty good.
Well, I'm like a lot of people. I know you are kind of a connoisseur. This is a medicinal thing that I do. I have the anxiety and the depression, and I've been through the pharmaceuticals for that and shit, and nothing's quite ever been able to be as effective without crippling me. It improves my quality of life. But yeah, so I've got plenty of experience with it, but I've always been a joint guy. I don't like the blunts because I feel like the wrapper fucks up the flat. I want to taste them terps,
that's
bro.
That's the nicotine. You got nicotine in your tobacco for that blunt wrap. So that's the big difference. But a lot of guys, they prefer that nicotine mixture with that, whether it's THC, Delta 8, whatever your THC is. That's the interesting part is it definitely does. And nicotine does do something to you. It has a benefit. It actually increases testosterone too.
Is that why I'm such a man?
I'm telling you, there's facts.
I started smoking.
Tate talked about it. Andrew Tate, he talked about it. Smoking cigars and drinking the whiskey that he drinks. He says he's not concerned about the health hazards because of the benefits that he gains from, that positive fucking influence on him is a good thing. Now I have stogies. I have a nice cigar humidor. It's like a mini fridge almost with a bunch of shelves, and it's got a bunch in there. But I don't smoke them often enough to enjoy them. And they do. I mean, it's a long smoke.
Yeah.
That's an investment.
When I was 16 years old, I was smoking about a pack a day of Kentucky's Best Reds. Now, this is before the fire safety control. Them cigarettes hit like a dump truck. They were so but they just tasted like raw tobacco. Like, you go from one of them to like a Marlboro, you could get a car for under $20.
Right.
But like my friend, he had this. It was a fairly nice car for a high schooler. It was a Mercury Mountaineer, but it was it was a nicer package. It was a nice car. He wouldn't let nobody else smoke cigarettes in it, but because I smoked Kentucky's Best, he said, dude, it just smells like burning. Right. It's not like a cigarette smell. It smells fragrant.
Are they that natural? Or is no extra chemicals? Is it more like the American Spirit or whatever?
I think they probably didn't even they just didn't even spend the time to put shit in it. Yeah. I feel like.
And they don't chop it up and fucking go.
Yeah, and the filter used to be real loose. Like, and that's where I got to where, like, half of my addiction in smoking cigarettes is the throat hit. The feeling of the burn in the throat somehow triggers it in my brain that I'm getting the nicotine. When I tried vaping, to vape in a way that satisfied that, fuck.
That's high card. Not any good, but
I used to ka-chunk them bad boys, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, it would just it's more like that. Do you know how that works? That pipe tobacco shit. What they did is whenever they started, when I say a pack or a carton of Kentucky's Best is under $20, it's where it is now because of taxes.
That's $5.
Fucking
thereabouts.
They raised. There was one time where they raised packs of cigarettes like $1 in just tax, and then dip was so much, and then cigarette tobacco went up so much per pound, but they didn't touch pipe tobacco. Right. So these companies, they cut it a hair longer, so it just bumps it barely into the next tax classification, and then you just roll it into cigarettes. That's all about cooking the fucking books.
Right. I like that stuff. I've got this this old Sherlock right here. Is what I used with it, which is just like a metal bowl, you know, Sherlock. But it's got some incense sitting in it.
Yeah.
That's the old school. That's the old school stuff. I like that. And the incense smell, the old school, like when I was in high school going into a head shop, you had that incense smell, that Nag Champa incense. It just smells so good. When we first lit it after years of not having it, the core memories that came back from just that smell, you know, it's just wild. There was a tobacco store in Versailles that I went to when I was 16 and 17 because I had my buddy's motorcycle permit that had expired years ago, and I didn't look a fucking thing like him. But they had carded me at this tobacco store for years. 2 years. Using that ID? Yeah, but then on my 18th birthday, I came in. I had gone and got my ID, came in, and they go, "Happy birthday!" And then they kind of looked at me like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Because it was just a little old man and his wife they were the only employees there. And they would have a bargain bin. This was good days, man. The bargain bin would have cigarettes for $1 or less a pack, and they'd just be like out of date. Right. I found one pack of lemon flavored cigarettes in there one time. Lemon. Yeah, and this is like it was left over from when they made it illegal to sell flavored cigarettes. Right. Like there had been like a carton somewhere in the fucking back for a couple of years, and then he just threw them in this bargain bin for next to nothing, just to get rid of them because he can't even sell them for full price now. They're illegal. I managed to get one straggler out of that. That's the only pack of flavored cigarettes I ever got. Lemon. I don't even know what that would be like. It was so good. Was it good? It was fucking delicious. Really? Yeah. Wow. Dangerous. That's probably why they don't make them. Yeah, it's marketed directly to children. You know? Yeah. Oh, it's a lemon drop. Look at that. You got candy? You're a kid. You want some candy? You can't taste it. I think we're getting lower on the clippings. Yeah, I'm going to load it up again. Fuck yeah, dude. Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, I love this whole environment. Man, I feel like this is some shit I'd do if I was less lazy. I feel like I have the time and the ability to do a lot of shit. But once shit gets so far, to me, like I get discouraged and I just leave it. The tough thing is like forever. All this, everything in the shop was organized differently except for this corner when I moved here 7 years ago. So the shop has completely shifted, except the CNC table. The old CNC table I had was over there. It was just in a little bit different position, but I used that bay because I work like a factory. I want raw material coming in that door. I want to process that raw material. I want to cut it, grind it, weld it, assemble it. I have hardware on this back wall and a table to build stuff on so I can assemble stuff right there where my saw is. And then you work over here. I had shipping stuff here. I would do all my shipping on this counter, and then I could stack up all my shipping boxes here, and then I would go out the door with it. So it literally made a U shape right out the door. And that's like how New York Blower company I used to work for, same thing. It comes in one door, makes its way out the other. And that's just streamlined manufacturing. So it took me a long time to get to this. And now I have a chill spot as well as 2 fabrication bays and a complete area that's got all my tools and equipment in one whole bay. Plus an upstairs where all my storage is now being used up there. Because, having an upstairs that you can't use with a vaulted ceiling like that, you can't stand but in the center section because the side, you hit your head. Hosses. So shelving down both sides, no brainer, Then you sit there and you have all your nice storage. And then I got to this. I got a shelf there and a shelf here, and those are project shelves. Like that shelf has nothing on it except for stuff that belongs with that customer car. Same thing over here. Parts for my 2 my 2 builds I'm doing are on that shelf. I think it's a good time
to go ahead and just let everybody know exactly how we arrived here. You know what I mean? Because like I was fairly independent in my social media. Like I didn't really partner up with anybody for a while, but then I met you because Mike is who I bought my monster truck from. We've covered a little bit of things you've done to it in the past, but then you were talking about, you were explaining organization and shit. It's like that shit I kind of noticed, like, and that's why I chose to go into like business with you, and we're going to pursue a lot of things together. Because man, there are a lot of people out there that I'd fucking kind of like, they wanted to do something like that, but I'd get a red flag.
Right.
You know what I mean? But fuck, you were so fucking honest.
Right. Right.
You were honest as fuck in that business deal over a lot of fucking money. What happened is I went to buy this truck from him and we agreed upon a price, and I said, that AC works, right? And he said yes. Now the next day he said, man, I thought it did. Last time I tried it, it did. I just tried it, it don't. He said, I'd be willing to take 500 less. You know, as a fuck, because I told you it works and it don't. And I said, well, the cashier's check's already made out for this price. He said, well, I'll bring 500 cash then, and we'll just swap skis. And this is like before you really knew about the extent, the extent of my shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We didn't know each other more than just the
but I watched you be honest over and over again. So it's like, dang, like that's more trustworthy than most people I know in my fucking life. You know, that's just honest.
It's hard because it's hard to even have like a continuation to that, or to even add to what you say, because I don't feel like you don't have to try when it's genuine. But there's still things, like everybody has stuff that they've done or they've got in their past that haunts them, or regrets or decisions they made and all that stuff.
Fuck.
And the focus is just moving forward and being the best version of you can fucking be. That's the major takeaway from all this.
Amen. And I feel like that's another thing. I'm looking at.
I've had handcuffs on. I've had, I've been in situations.
I've never been convicted.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I've got a clean slate, but I have been in handcuffs several times.
They make some good. It's real sweet. It burns sweet. Yeah. It got a good sweet Delta 8 flavor to it. So, but no. So like, getting to know you, man. It was like, okay, but then you weren't real pushy. You were real respectful just to me, because man, I've been going through it this year. Like there's been a lot that been going on behind the scenes with health and family and this. I've been under a lot of stress this year, and
I feel it, man.
So you've been patient with me, but you're at a similar stage in your life as well, where you've we've seen the shit, we've done the shit, we got the t-shirt. You know
what we want to do moving forward.
But it's just like, this ain't no fucking pissing contest no more. We're because there are other people that it's like, no matter how much they'd want to try to help me, there's just a different mindset.
Right.
There's just a different mindset, at this point where, you've got your family going, you done fucked up your fair share of shit. Right. But now you've kind of learned and you've really got your priorities like, okay, you're more of a man's kind of level of priorities. Because there's a lot of dudes that I know that, they take care of their shit and stuff, but there's just some, I see their priorities being out of whack to a certain extent somewhere. Right. There's something that they're just like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? But then I'm seeing, all this shit. Know this fucking technical shit that I have struggled with. Like the reason why I don't have more videos on fucking Instagram is I've tried to post 2, and then it kept just cutting them down to like 15 seconds, and I fucking give up.
Right.
I get so overwhelmed with this technology and shit. It is just wild. That's been a huge holdback for me.
Right.
And then I was just getting to know you. It's like green flag, green flag, green flag, green flag, and now I'm to the point where I'm like, okay. This is working. Like there's.
The importance to the pairing is that from a lot of perspectives on the outside, going like in my situation, after the truck sale and everything, I felt great about our situation, our friendship that we were starting. You know, I felt great about that. And then the more and more I started finding out about you, the interesting aspect of that is when someone tells you they were addicted to methamphetamine and they nearly died and all this, a bunch of stuff, that is a tough thing to deal with. But seeing where you were after that, I knew, okay, well, red flag, meth addict, red flag. I'm like, oh, actually, well, that was a red flag. But guess what? It's green now because it's been dealt with, okay? And same thing with other aspects of coming into your life, because I had to, you know, I think we knew each other for a month before we were really like, you know, talking about a lot of stuff. But at the same time, we only had a few interactions, but we had a bunch of those bro moments. We had those, did we just become best friends?
And then we fucking high five.
Yeah.
And there's so much room for activities.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's a wisdom, and that's where I fucking peeped. You have autism early on. You know what I mean? But I have autism, and I feel like between definitely that, it's just like, because once I saw the patterns in how of the way you live your life, I have this theory that fucking, like, you want it, like, it's hard to be friends with somebody with autism sometimes because the shit ain't the same, but fuck, you know whose team they're on. Well, you know, like, you know exactly who the fuck.
I'm aware of my quirks. I'm aware of the things that I do that I try to work on. And the other aspect of that is knowing that you're an adult that has stuff going on too. That's why, like, you know, discussing today, coming in and doing this episode of the podcast, spur of the moment, but we're here doing it because it just works. And we know, like, there's nights where I'm doing something, I got the kids with a movie, and it's not convenient, but then there's going to be plenty of weeknights where we get together and it works out. But, like, I think we both understand that, like, we're not holding it against each other if, like, oh, well, you know, I want to do this, but I can't because, you know, whatever. And it's things that we don't want to get in the way. Like, we took a trip to Nashville. We were away from family. That was worth that trip.
Yeah.
But we control these and we do that stuff. We want to be away, but we have to control how much we do it because, like, I get homesick real easy. I like my comfort, you know, and that's part of that tism, you know, that's part of our situation.
Do you know why we left Nashville when we did? I literally, Josh Terry, I'm sorry, bro. I just straight up got homesick. I think I just straight up texted him that. Like, we kind of were invited for more stuff, but it was like, it was kind of just going to be a little for experience more than anything.
We would have been in that CMA after party, definitely, had we stayed Tuesday night or Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That evening when we, you know, because we were chilling. If we'd have stayed through his thing later on that evening after that, they were at that CMA after party. And he said Peyton Manning was there, that country star Hardy, and all those girls were getting all jelly, dude. They were getting all jelly about that. Well, fuck him because he sucks at what he did. Yeah, and I'm calling him out on that. I'm not a country singer, but that was pitiful.
John Deere Green performance?
Yeah,
that was
John Deere Green. Golly.
That was pandering. That was outright pandering.
It was really bad. And the way he did it, the way he did stuff, oh, man. You could just, it was putting on, you know.
I would rather
Post Malone, dude, he was a king in that. He looked so good. He did so well.
I would rather listen to a burlap sack of drowning kittens than hear Hardy sing that goddamn song.
Yeah.
Okay? It made my earballs bleed.
Well, and to finish and put a button on the last part of that conversation, our leaving there.
Straight resonant there.
We didn't have, our motivations were not potentially meeting famous people.
Yeah.
Whereas other people in our group were definitely like, oh my God, I want to meet some famous people. And like me, look, I don't understand the celebrity thing. I don't get it. Like, I think Jelly Roll's badass, but I'm not gonna. I don't think he's like a god or something. You know what I mean? I look up to him. He's
I don't get starstruck. I've met a few.
I would love to meet him, and I'm sure I would stumble over some words talking to him. But you know what? He's just like us. He's another guy. So the separation of these Kim Kardashians and all these crazy celebrities, I don't appreciate. So like the girls wanting to go there, yeah, they were jealous that they didn't go because they didn't know any better. But Josh didn't know who was going to be there. He didn't know, but he told him. He said, I invited you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I tell you, you want to know why we had to fucking leave that shit? Because this fucking medicine ended up making me have all these fucking panic attacks so bad. It's like I have to literally drop everything and calm the fuck down or my blood pressure gets out of fucking control and then I have to go to the hospital. So it's literally, I'm just struggling with this fucking shit. And it got to the point, remember, like, I got up in the middle of the night and just vomited and went outside and smoked cigarettes for an hour and a half.
Man. That was rough. Dude, I felt bad for you.
It has sucked. It has straight up fucking sucked. But we're getting around a lot of corners. And I'm in a really cool place in life right now because everything's new. to me right now, because when I was 18, I picked up the fucking bottle. Right. And then I drank fucking a lot of hard liquor and beer for a while. And then I started having liver issues. I was in the hospital 3 separate times for inflammation of the liver, and that's when I had to quit drinking liquor. And I just drank beer until I was like 27, 28, whatever. And then I did a 3-day detox for alcohol, and then within a fucking month, I was addicted to meth. You know, so like I was never that fucking sober. And then now I just do Delta 8. I do Delta 8.
I do Delta 8.
You know what I mean? But it's just, I'm just out here managing. But it helps me cope, because I'll sit there and I will dissect. I go on this mental adventure of where I'm at and how we got here. And I actually cope with these problems. I sit there and I ponder them, and I'll about half drool on myself, but I'll just rethink a lot of these deep things, those fucking things that happened when you're a little boy that you remember for fucking ever, and they are part of who you are now, and you can't take them back. Well, I'm getting it down to, I'm just fucking mowing it all down, and I'm thinking it through start to finish, because if I can figure out where I'm at and how I got here, and I can pattern that bitch, I can swallow that pill and we can move on. Right. And now I'm more in tune than I've been since I was 18 years old, because when I say I was drinking a lot, I mean it. I was drinking about 5 nights a week, binging. But I'd get a 5th of vodka and then a bunch of beer. And I'd drink the 5th of vodka in about 20 minutes. Because that's just what I was doing that 5 nights a week. And then I'd ride that buzz out. We used to say you ain't drunk till you're puking. I can't tell you how many nights my wife came in the fucking bathroom and I was just passed out on the floor. And she'd roll me on my side and make sure I was took care of, and I'd sleep there. Right. And that was years, dude, years.
I love that phrase. You're not drunk until you're puking.
Yeah, because you tell your body.
You think about it.
Yeah, you can always get drunker up until the point where your body starts to reject it. You're just still drinking.
Yeah.
But I'm more like it's really helped me prioritize my shit. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it is this fucking easy. If a motherfucker is given a few chances to fuck you in the first few times, and this legitimate, like, you didn't know that I'm doing good on the internet, you just, as a man, come to them, and if they have a few chances to fuck you and they don't, let alone just go out of your way to be more honest, because I would not have been checked if the AC worked before, you know.
Right.
But within the first few little fucking meets and interactions and transactions and shit, you can about figure out if somebody's willing to fuck you or not.
Right.
Because there's no middle ground, you know. Right. People are either willing to fuck you or they're not willing to do it. And if you meet somebody that's just not going to fucking do it, then the rest of it, even if it's like, bro, you got the tism, you know what I mean? And yours has expressed itself differently than mine. But you know what? I'm just kind of got further along because I swallowed the pill early and I started to work with it. I was diagnosed in 8th grade. Like, I've been kind of thinking about my own psychology for a long time.
I didn't know that I was even possibly on the spectrum until I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
Which is shocking. And then you think back, like, my wife worked with a company that did a lot of health, like physical therapy, speech therapy, other things with children in this community. Okay? It's a great place. And one of the people that she met through there, a great friend of hers, she told my wife, well, you might hold back on telling him he's not if these things are happening. And she says, well, is there any kind of like classes in elementary school or any kind of difference? And I told her, I said, yep. And then there's a few other little things. And it was just like tick, tick, tick. Like, I'm not a nonverbal autistic person. But there's plenty of people who are really high on that spectrum that function at this level and have this masking. And she said that the length of time that I've done without any help, I've learned to mask and do all this stuff and mimic things and function. Even though I don't like social things. I hate going to a party. Even if me and you were going to a party tonight and everyone else there is a stranger, that's a weird thing for me. Yeah. But I only can rely on you to be with me when I go into that. And then once we're in there, if we get separated and I'm by myself, then I'm like, okay, this is weird. Yeah. But I have to get the ice broke and like get some kind of a connection with somebody there in some kind of a conversation before I can even put my guard down. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, I don't need to be here. I want to be home here.
That's where for me, learning the art of comedy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, acting out, getting in trouble, always causing a ruckus, being a disruptive child was a thing that was second nature. Yeah. And now everybody's looked at it's a totally different situation. But in the 90s, that it just wasn't seen that way. Yeah. And being that high functioning is not not as many flags. And a single dad raised me, and my mom wasn't there a lot, so that there's aspects of that where just certain things go unnoticed. Yeah. He's a 20-year Marine. He wasn't concerned with my emotional and social capabilities. I went to school and everything was fine. Yeah. But I had plenty of interactions later on. Elementary, middle school, not really anything with other people, but high school, a lot of interactions with people that just could not understand that you just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I love about my autism homies, though, for real, is because, like, if you just kind of think about your own psychology, you say, okay, autism is this, you can start hacking your own psychology. You know what I mean? Like, you're smart enough to fucking do it. God damn it, I'm high. What the fuck? Too. I'm ripped, dude. Like, I forgot where I was going with that.
And it's like you can pattern it too, that I think you have as well, is the self-awareness of, like, I know when I'm not acting myself. Yeah. I can feel that. I'm aware of it. Yeah. It's just the being aware of your environment the way we are, it's like hypervigilance.
Well, yeah, and this is like comes to just fucking tricks that I use. Like when I was wearing glasses, I really would struggle with the eye contact. Like now that I got LASIK, it fucks with me to make eye contact with people, and I don't know why. It just almost hurts. Like I can only do it for a second. Right. But if I focus on the nose, I can do it longer, and it looks like I'm looking right.
I try to move it. It's hard to focus because I can't.
What's fucking weird is that it's not out of dishonesty. Like a lot of people would, they say if you won't maintain eye contact, like when police are interviewing you and shit, if you won't, he's fucking lying. It's like, no, bro, I can't. I don't know why.
Well, the giveaways,
but you can be patterned. There's also an inherent honesty that comes with it. You're extremely smart, and it's just where we suffer, and this is why autism being the fucking future makes so much sense. Because it's just like all these social things where I fucking suck, They don't matter. It's like you're showing up.
They don't matter.
You're showing up, and he's pretending to be a person he's not, and you're going to be a person because you don't disclose too much about yourself at first. There's a certain time. It's like that's a waste of goddamn time because you both know you're lying to each other. Right.
Yeah,
like that whole game, it's like awkward because you're just all in at once. It's like, what the fuck is the point of all that? If you know you're lying to each other, then it doesn't matter. Right. Fucking up. Yeah. But it's just like, okay, but then as far as book smart goes, we're smarter. Right. We're fucking smarter than most people. Like, go talk to average people. I hate to break it to y'all, but for more of you than not, just because I have autism, just because of it, I am so much smarter than you that you can't grasp it. That's for most of y'all in there, okay? That's just how that is.
And the grasping aspect.
There's a few of you that are going to be smart, way smarter than me, and then you're going to be like, you dumbass, you made a mistake then in your life. It's like, you ain't been that wrong. When I got wrong, I fucking got viewed over 300,000 times on the internet. Stand up cocksuckers. Yeah. Fucking when I made that Russian hog piss joke. Because this happened. Like there was a couple years ago, there was a scare of a death shortage. And it was not very loud. It was just like, we're getting into it with Russia. We need this much from them. Like, it could fuck up our fleet of trucks if we don't get enough and they make it with hog piss. And it's like, that's so fucking stupid, but nobody ever fucking heard about it. And then it died off. And then a few years later, I'm like, hey, this is fucking stupid. And it's like, the one thing I didn't check is if they actually used the urea from the hog piss. In the truck. I just figured if you could get it from hog piss, that's where you'd fucking start. It was the last fucking thing I ever would have imagined that they're making it out of propane anyway. Yeah. They're taking apart or whatever. Petroleum.
Fucking oxymoron.
They're fucking making it out of petroleum.
Okay, so you have a petroleum product that
for making cat piss out of oil. But tell me these people are against the oil companies. They're making hog piss out of oil. But they're selling more oil. Funny.
So I want to do the whole thing. So the whole thing. So we'll do the whole thing. So it starts out with a petroleum product that is The problem right now, which that's not actually the problem. There's actually 100 companies that are causing all the fucking CO2 issues. But if you say there's a problem with petroleum, so you have petroleum you refine into diesel and gasoline.
Greta Thunberg better goddamn have a biodegradable dildo. I swear to God, she better have a goddamn wooden dildo.
But the fact that you need that in order to make it cleaner, you need more petroleum.
If she's using a goddamn silicone dick.
Where's the math?
If she is using a petroleum cock. Dude, God have mercy on the guy that sticks around long enough to find out. You know, like he's gonna be like a whip dog. Like he's gonna get so tired of getting yelled at, like right out of the gate. You know who she belongs with? Taylor fucking Swift.
Oh my gosh!
And they can just go talk shit about each other.
Taylor Swift.
Man, that'd be. God damn it! I wouldn't date. I would not. I don't care how hot she is or how ugly I am, how much money she has. I would not date her because there's no good way for that to go. Because if you don't fall in love and get married forever and do whatever she fucking says, you're getting a song, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're getting a song wrote about you.
That's the thing where it's like the hand.
That's your legacy.
Relationship, you have hand, like that's the thing from Seinfeld where you have like control in a relationship, whereas she has the control. He is just along for the ride, even though he's a famous football player. But he is now like in the light and everybody's talking about him. It's a whole thing. And then like the fact that there's more seats being sold and all this other stuff, and it's the Chiefs, and it's just a whole thing. So it feels to me like it's more publicity stuff. Just like the Adam 22 crap, where he spoke on podcasts in ways to make it seem way more different than
that was not the BBC we were telling him about.
You know,
that is not the BBC she wanted. No. But, well, she did want it, it appears.
She definitely
but you get her a big block Chevrolet.
Big block Chevrolet.
Big block Chevrolet. And you know what? You know what's fucking funny? What's fucking funny is like after everybody's like, bro, I don't think that's the flex you thought it was.
Right.
You know, like, cause everybody's like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
And he's like, well, if watching my wife get hammered by a mandingo makes me a cuck, then it's so, then I'm a cuck. It's like, yeah, that's what it makes you. Yeah, that's.
I just can't. I couldn't do that. And it's not about insecurity. It's about the sanctity of the marriage and your sexual relationship with your wife. That's an isolated thing that's between the two of you.
Well,
whoever you choose to share it with is up to you. But,
dude,
I don't like the sharing.
I think a lot of modern views on love are kind of just fucking skewed. Dude, like, fucking it is perfectly natural not to want to see that. Not to want, like, you don't pretend that's normal. Right. Don't, It's like people are like, God damn, I'm cool with a lot of shit, but don't fuck my wife, man.
Yeah. Right.
What the fuck? That's what there's a lot of people.
Why does that have to be?
I swear on the internet anymore, they just test the waters.
Sure.
I swear to you, there is just there are powers that be that just drop shit and just see what'll stick. Because like the fucking Island Boys doing pee-pee stuff with each other's mouths and shit, that's illegal. If that's in the United States, that's incestuous and it's illegal.
I heard about that, and I didn't look into it any further, obviously because I wasn't interested in it. But
and then all of a sudden, everybody started talking about AI. They're like, they're just getting AI to do it and making a bunch of money. It's like,
I heard.
It's like they're trying to find where the lines in the sand are.
Right.
They're going to throw shit up, see what sticks.
Right. I had heard about it, but I had heard it was just the kissing aspect of it. But you know how people are.
Yeah, people are like, they play tonsil hockey. I have a hemorrhoid flare up. It's worst. It's the worst. It'll about put you under the dash of your truck.
Yeah.
I'm having a hemorrhoid flare up. Oh, God.
I can see that. It's funny.
Just every once in a while, I come around that corner and my fucking asshole caught on fire.
Just happens.
It's a sharp stabbing pain in the ass. It's terrible.
Quite literally.
But yeah, I really did work my body into the dirt in my 20s.
Oh, I did.
It was the whole mindset of if you work really hard and you really give it your all every single day,
you can be successful.
They'll recognize it and give you raises and promotions. And what it does is the opposite. You just end up with more of a load. Mm-hmm. Like, I made $12. I've never made more than $12 an hour in my life.
Wow.
I ended up fucking not really doing as. I'm not qualified to do shit.
Right.
And I mean, like at SS Tire in Lexington, man, I made $12 an hour, and all the new hires would make 10, and I'd be, like the only like oil and lube and tire and kind of general service. Like I'd be the only one there. We'd be doing fucking over 100 cars a day. Right. I did a lot of fucking oil changes and tires real fast. I got fast at it, and I worked my body into the fucking dirt. And now, the bottom couple of discs in my back, gone.
We're in the same boat.
You can feel the play in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm having the issue of sitting down for a long period of time and then standing up, and then that disc gets pushed the other way. It's feeling good this way, and then when I stand up, it's like, fuck.
I was standing in like a certain position. I was kind of leaning over on this rail, smoking a cigarette, and I coughed, and it went and just through that disc because I was just the right muscle contraction at the right angle. And I'll tell you, man, when I left that place, I told them, I said, we're selling our house here. I'm going to be moving somewhere. We're getting property somewhere. If you want to keep me on here, I can look in an area that's nearby enough for me to continue working here. But I'm on to need a raise for that sort of shit. Like you got to make it worth it to me because I'm only making $12 an hour.
Right.
And they're like, no, well, we'll get back to you. They never fucking did. A couple of months later, I found the property that I live on now and bought the son of a bitch and went in there one day and said, hey, I done bought 22 acres 2 hours away. Not working here. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And they were like, how much do you need? How much do you need? They were like, would like 18? I'm like,
I bought the house already.
I bought the goddamn motherfucker. I gave you, but they were not going to come off of it. Like, they were not going to, they would cut their own fucking arm off of it, cost an extra $1. And I got fucking abused by that place, my boys. I spent over, because it's all this dangling of, well, we're getting into some classes, this and the other thing, or raise. But we're not busy enough right now to give you a raise. That was a good one. And I'm like, man, I couldn't help but notice that I did multiple dozen cars today myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I worked for 12 and a half straight fucking hours. Literally, like I'd get there, I'd get there at 7:30 in the fucking morning, and at 7, we stopped taking tickets. Yeah. If you got there up till 7, you were graciously welcomed by Mr. Well, I'm not going to say his name, but he's the father of one of the UK players. It's almost like. And this man gave no fucks about you in the back. You know what I mean? So it would not be uncommon to be there at 8:30. So I mean, it'd be fucking, it wouldn't, and you didn't get breaks. There were no breaks. And some days you'd eat on the fly. On Saturdays, they'd buy your lunch, but they were real slick. They would dock you 30 minutes anyway. They didn't tell us that, but if you look at your check close enough, but they bought us lunch that we ate on the fly and didn't bitch. What really fucked them is that I could pass a drug test. Anybody else that they shit all over couldn't. So at any given time, they love some motherfuckers that was on drugs. Because they'll work harder. Like if you're just like, dude, I don't care how high you get as long as you don't start breaking shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is amazing how fast they'll get a lot of fucking shit done. And it's kind of a don't ask, don't tell. Fucking one boy went to lunch. One boy went to lunch, took another boy with him, and they went to a trap house and fucking went and got them some heroin on goddamn lunch. And the fucking trap house got busted at the same time that they were there. And then the one boy was so fucking smart, he said, it's not mine, I'm getting it for somebody else. And now he's trafficking heroin. And he was fucking, this was on a Friday. He was back at work on Monday because he'd worked for next to fucking nothing. He's going through some court shit. He really needs a job for that shit. And he made them all kinds of fucking money, but he fucking passed out behind the wheel of the car one day. He had the scanner, and they know. Like, he had the scanner. He started his car, and the tank of fuel was most of the way full. He's scanning it, and he was just so good at what he did. He was fucking in there. They never looked at what he was doing. He was always just so high. He was busy fucking getting shit done. and making him a ton of fucking money. Well, one day I noticed that like he had been in this motherfucker for a while, and like the people that are actually in charge are just going like, oh, look at him go, look at he's really getting into the scanner. You know, I wonder what kind of data he's reading. And he slumped over, and it run the whole goddamn car out of gas. I actually told one of the guys up front at one point, I was like, dude, he's straight up just fucking sleeping in that son of a bitch. And it was still another, like the car had to continue to run out of gas before they, that's the time, that's when they eventually fired him. Something after that. But this has already done been bailed out there. And he used to fucking hide his needles and shit in the bathroom ceiling, and he was real short. So he'd be, I swear to you,
that's crazy.
He'd be in the bathroom for like an hour. And then, you know, people would have to be pissing and shitting. We only got like the one customer bathroom. They won't let us shit in the fucking showroom bathroom. He'd be in there for a fucking hour, and then he'd come out, and there would be, he would forget to wipe the smudges off the toilet seat. There'd be footprints on the toilet seat, and then you see finger smudges on the tile up here. It's like,
what a dumbass. Leaving the toilet seat dirty. And
yeah, but no, at one point, like, even the boss knew. Like, the boss knew, and he was like, he's fucking stupid. He needs to wipe that off. But that boy would get high, and he'd make them so much money. And I think he was probably in some court shit anyway, where if he was employed somewhere.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, the hard part is existing in a world. I've never been in a situation where I'm doing anything more than smoking weed and having to work at a place and deal with that. You know, years and years ago, you know, that was the only problem I ran into. I could just imagine what it'd be like for someone like that doing heroin at work. And I mean, that's just such a crazy situation to be in, you know?
Yeah. No, that place is wild. That place needs its own TV show. Like, I got so many stories from that place. We'll cover some of them. I think I'm going to cover one more story here from there. Okay. The highest I've ever been at work. There was this one guy that I worked with that everybody kind of knew. He grew a lot of pot. He had fucking financed this fucking place out in the middle of nowhere, grew pot on it, and then sold enough to pay for it, like in a few years. And he was telling us about that. And he said, well, I'm going to go sweep out my drying shed later. If I find any, you know, just good-sized crumbs, you know, you can have them. And they were like, yeah, fuck that word. Well, fucking... One day he comes in and he just hands me something, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a decent little nut. And me and a boy named DJ took turns going in my truck and smoking it out of an 8mm socket. DJ's dead, man. Like, that tripped me out. But some people, he overdosed with some people and they just left him because they were scared to call 911. There is the Good Samaritan law in the state of Kentucky. If it is an overdose call, the police can't do shit. Fucking leave the... I don't care what you got. Needles, whatever. Fucking... Don't worry about it. There's the Good Samaritan law. And they cannot fuck with you if it's an overdose call. You fucking call 911, please. So, and keep Narcan. Look, if y'all are banging dope, keep Narcan. Just do it. And, like, learn some CPR and shit. For real. But no. So I went out to I was the last one. DJ was like, dude, I'm fucking ripped. He said, there's a little bit left in that socket. You can have all of it. And I was like, okay. I went out there, and I did not smoke much pot at this time at all. Like, the entire time I worked at this place, I could pass a drug test. Like, other than smoking pot maybe twice. Right. My whole time working there. I used to be kind of anti-pot. Yeah, I was dumb, you know. But, so I go out there and I smoke. I take the last hell of rip off of it. It was more like, it was plenty enough. It got me fucking high as shit. And before I even get back in there, I can feel it really coming on really strong. And I'm not used to smoking at this time. I walk in there and there are two fucking cops standing right there. I was like, God damn it. How did they, I never smoked pot. I never fucking smoked pot ever. You know, and I kind of felt obligated to because fuck, he did bring it, you know. And I'm like, son of a fucking bitch, I'm going to jail today. And they said, we got a project for you. I never broke shit. I never broke nothing, dude. Like, if something came in, it's like, don't fuck it up. I got it. As far as terms of like tires go, like I've done with shitty equipment with a metal duck head, Maserati wheels, and I just barely scratched them. You know, it was when really they should have gone to Lucky's Auto Sports and had them changed on their $100,000 machine. Because once again, the salesman didn't know fuck. But if it had to not get fucked up, it was really important. Maybe it'd be a $5,000 wheel. Right. You know, that would be me. Well, it was them two cops stood there the whole time that they had a fucking car that they had confiscated from a dope dealer or drug dealer of some kind, and they were made a dare car out of it. And they wanted the ballin' ass rims that the dope man had put on it took off, and they wanted the stock wheels back on for a more formal look. And I had to do that whole fucking dare car, high as hell, with two cops watching me. And I did not smoke pot at work for a long time after that.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that. I mean, in the beginning, when you're not used to it, that you have feelings that you don't typically
two
have.
cops just watched me work on a dare car.
Yeah.
You think they would have fucked me up anyway?
Step inside from smoking pot, and they're like, "Yeah, we're doing an anti-drug car."
Yeah, literally is exactly what it was, and I didn't fuck it up neither. It took me a little extra long, but fuck it.
The thing about this, though,
careful.
the taboo aspect that I don't like about it is that, like, in certain states, there's just a viewpoint, and it's not an accurate viewpoint. I think it's certain areas would help. They would be loving recreational, legal THC, legit.
That's where, like, I hate to say it, but I think it's just a matter of a bunch of old people have to die.
It's a matter of time,
because it's gonna it has to get voted on, and there are a lot of motherfuckers that are just from a time where they were getting lied to. The government lied to them and told them all these things about this shit that are just not true. And so there's just a stigma that has been planted in them that will never allow them to firmly grasp that they had been lied to their entire lives. Do you think 70-year-old grannies that's just been so anti-pot all these years gonna up it?
The demographic.
But them old heads to do, fuck yeah. Huh?
The demographic at the dispensaries, at the ones I've been to in Colorado, Illinois, I think that's.
But these old people that are against it are diehard voters.
It's interesting though to see though, because when you're standing in there, there's 50 people in there, and it's every walk of life that you can imagine.
Yeah.
Every walk of life.
Yeah, the stigma right there.
And that's the interesting aspect of it is like, yeah, everybody from your granny to your cousins doing it, and all races, all religions, everybody's getting a part of it.
Yeah. Now you see what it did to Mike Tyson?
Oh yeah.
It healed him.
Yeah, he started it.
Healed him.
Cannabis.
Look, it tamed Mike Tyson. It gave Mike Tyson peace.
Right.
That is a whole resume right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Mike Tyson in his prime would pick you up and go snap, and you would be dead. He was a fucking, but he had his demons, dude. Like he was that way because he was a fucking animal because of his demons. And now he's to the point where he's enjoying life and he has a level of peace. You can tell he's done coping.
Right.
He's done a lot of coping. I guarantee he's probably more like, he probably feels more self-aware now.
Sure.
But
self-aware is a bitch.
Yeah. I think you think we probably got enough for now? You want to wrap it up?
Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man. I'm Tuck Fard.
Mikey Mike.
If you want to check out tuckfardmerchstore.com, get you some hats and shirts and shit. I really appreciate that. It'd be fucking awesome. I want to see my face in all 67 states, all 50 states.
I would like to see. We need to message some of the people that have already purchased some stuff, and I'd like to see them do some stuff. Whether it's some people post the video or even just comments